When you've been gaming as long as we have, you see a lot of series come and go. If you're lucky, you get a couple good sequels before the inevitable reboot treatment, which either brings new life to the franchise or just makes a whole lot of people really mad. But one series that's been a steady staple through the years is the Trine series of games. So you ready to feel old? The original Trine launched 13 years ago back in 2009. You know what else was happening in 2009? Avatar release. No, God no, not that Avatar, this Avatar. Since then, we've gotten 4 sequels, each game making some incremental changes, but other than the third game, which maybe went a bit too far with its change to 3D, the series has mostly stayed the same. And while Trine 5, A Clockwork Conspiracy has some gorgeous new visuals, it also isn't trying to reinvent the wheel. But maybe that's not the point. Can Trine 5 simply capture some of the co-op magic of those first 2 games? We're here as the Co-op Bros to find out. And make sure you stick around for the end of the video to find out how you can win a free PS5 key to the game courtesy of our friends at THQ Nordic.
Oh, nice. Baby, get Trined on. Oh, baby, dude, get Trined on. We just killed that.
Yeah.
That's not quite, actually, not quite. Oh, what?
Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, dang, dude. Yeah.
Okay. And get up.
That's right, baby.
And
that's a Trine.
That right there is what you call Trine, dude.
That's a fat Trine right there.
With a history as long as the Trine series has, you'd assume it would have co-op figured out by now, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that it kind of does, it mostly does, but there are some weird quirks to how co-op works in Trine 5. Now, here's the good. You've got 4-player local co-op and 4-player online co-op, and of course we love to see both of those options. Additionally, and very surprising to both of us, when you play online with your friends, you actually get to keep the progress of the campaign on your local system, even if you aren't the host, to play later on your own. That's pretty rare and great to see, so you might be thinking, what are those quirks that you were referring to? It's kind of like when you meet your girlfriend's weird uncle and you're like, babe, this guy seems normal and he might even be kind of cool. And then he pulls you aside later on and he tells you about his weird politics and you're like, okay, I see what she was saying. Trine's weird politics is that the online mode on consoles does not have a private option. You may see a private option in the menu system, but this is just a weird holdover from the PC version of the game, which I've read does actually have a private game password system. Not sure why that would still be there in the menu. Very odd. And here's me actually doing this right now. I joined on accident, 2 people playing. I was in there for like 15 seconds and then I yeeted on out of there. Now, this never happened to us, but I have seen comments online of this happening to others, and it definitely can ruin your experience and is kind of wild in 2023 that this can be a thing. You can actually just randomly hop into a person's game on level 12, immediately leave, and now you have a save file on level 12 that is totally game breaking. I love it. A couple other quirks to mention are there's no crossplay, which is definitely a bummer. We would have liked to see that. And if you've read that there's combo co-op from sources online, we tested it, and as far as we can tell, there is none. The game itself never claimed that it would have combo co-op, but we've seen sources online say that it does, so we just wanted to clarify for you. And that's Trine 5's ease of play. Mostly good, with a couple of super odd quirks.
No, bro, no.
Totally unnecessary, but we'll take it.
Massively complicating this puzzle.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
The story of Trine 5 takes place across 4 acts that roughly amount to a 16 to 20 hour playthrough. If you've played any of their previous games, the gameplay loop should sound fairly familiar. Each level will have some sort of theme and tends to introduce some new mechanic or a new spin on an old one, be it magnetic items or ricochet arrows. These encounters will get progressively harder through the level, and it was cool to see how they can involve even the simplest of mechanics. Puzzles are a large part of the game, but these encounters will also be broken up by some minor combat here and there. And as you get more into the game, you'll even start to face a boss or two. While there's only a couple bosses in the game, these battles are awesome because they bring a little bit of puzzle solving to the mix. They're much better than the regular combat encounters, but I'll get to that later. Each level also has a certain amount of hidden collectibles that are actually pretty fun to find.
Oh, straw hat? That's a Ponch. Oh, look at Pontius with the straw hat. Dude, he looks great.
That's actually pretty dope.
There's chests that reward you with either a cosmetic hat or some piece of lore, but more often than not, you'll run into these green jars that contribute towards skill points for your character. That's right, there's skill trees in this game. Each character can unlock upgrades, usually either combat or traversal focus. And that's pretty much Trine 5 in a nutshell, so with all that out of the way, let's see how it measures up in co-op.
Oh, you did it. We did it.
Okay. It's all good. We got it.
It's like we're barely solving these puzzles right now. Like, we're just kind of solving themselves.
Oh, there we go. Oh my god. So ridiculous.
At first glance, it might be difficult to see how this entry in the Trine series is differentiating itself from what came before. I mean, guys, I've been playing Trine 4 footage for the past 10 seconds, and none of you even said anything. The formula was perfected several iterations ago. So while Trine 5 isn't reinventing the wheel, it does do some impressive stuff with its co-op, so let me break it down into 3 key points. 1. The puzzles add on to each other in smart ways. 2. It consistently forces you to use every available body. And 3. The puzzles and tools given to you allow for creative and diverse solutions. Now when you start Trine 5, you go through 3 levels playing as just one of the titular heroes of Trine. This helps introduce you to their mechanics. Impressively, even though you're playing as just one of the characters, the puzzles all require you to work together depending on your group size. Yes, one of the awesome features of Trine is that each puzzle changes depending on how many players are in your group. Very cool. But back to my main points, each character has multiple puzzle solving abilities, like Amadeus the Wizard bringing out his boxes to stack up to reach things, Zoya making bridges with her grappling rope, or Pontius blocking water off of his shield. So in these early levels you get an idea of how to use these basic abilities to solve puzzles, and a lot of those things are done through co-op.
Come on.
There it is.
Nice, dude, nice.
Damn, angles, my god.
I know, seriously.
As you progress in the game, you'll come across puzzles that will combine the use of multiple abilities. Like when one player uses Amadeus' telekinesis to properly put together some pipes shooting water at the other player's Pontius, making the perfect angle to solve a puzzle. You love to see it, great co-op. The fun is that you have this massive tool belt that you've amassed that you have to keep in mind throughout your journey as it evolves and expands. Key word right there at the end is expands. As you play through levels, you'll occasionally come on diversions where you venture off as one of the characters, gain a new ability, learn how to use said ability, and now you've got another puzzle solving mechanic to add to your tool belt. Additionally, each level will introduce its own unique mechanics that play off of your abilities, some of which will recur throughout your entire playthrough, so let me now show you how all of this comes together. In level 6, Sinister Back Alleys, you're introduced early on to a cube that Amadeus can control that allows you to shoot one of Zoya's arrows off of it for a nice little ricochet shot. Later in that level, you go on a side tangent with Zoya, where you unlock the ability to ricochet off of just about anything. Now later in the game, they bring back both the block and the ricochet to do puzzles where you're combining those into one, and we just love that. It was really cool to see how it build off itself.
That was cool. Slick, dude. That was slick.
That was slick.
But let's go back a little bit. In level 6, at some point we came upon a tough puzzle where we were stumped because you had to do a triple ricochet, but there was no cube in sight to make it happen. But remember how Pontius can reflect water off of his shield? He can also reflect arrows, so we work out that if we time it just right, this will happen.
Oh man, this would be so much coordination between us.
Just keep firing. Just keep firing. No,
okay,
just go for it. Yeah, just go for it.
Okay.
There we go.
Right,
I just knew if I just kept jumping, yeah, it was gonna work out.
Yeah.
There's just no way that was the actual solution.
In that puzzle, all 3 of my points were made all at once, because I'm kind of good at this whole review thing, you know, pat on the back here. We had to use every character to solve the puzzle, with new and old abilities. Both of us had to be involved in the solution, very active, and at the end, you heard us say something that was important. There's no way that was the actual solution. This was one of our favorite parts of Trine 5. A lot of the puzzles you can figure out quick enough, and you know you're probably doing it the way the developers intended. But there were also a lot of puzzles where we'd solve it, but we felt like we had come up with a totally unique solution that was all our own. You're given enough tools that it's like a very light version of Tears of the Kingdom, where the devs are like, yeah, you know what, just do it however you think is best. So on our playthrough, not only will we surprise ourselves with some solutions that just felt like we were brute forcing our way through it.
I mean, maybe you can like run across. It could also be part of it.
Yoink! I did it.
Oh my god! How did you do that? That was insane.
Brute force, dude. Just brute force.
We'd also build our own inside jokes for solving several puzzles in the same way, despite it feel like we were kind of cheating the system. It was funny, always made us laugh, and is exactly what we love about co-op games.
But then we gotta get up there. But here, Bob. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. We know what this is. This ain't even a mystery. Come on up.
Yeah,
give me that treasure chest, dude. Let's go.
Dude, that was sick.
And a new letter.
It's a letter.
Man, I don't want to read.
So for the most part, it seems like Trine 5 really shines in co-op. When you're going from puzzle to puzzle and gassing each other up over how freaking genius you guys are, it's a great time. And then you're thrown into combat. To be frank, the combat encounters in this game kill all the momentum and are a real downside in co-op. Basically, only one hero is worth using in combat, and I bet you can guess which one it is. Well, it's not the wizard, I'll tell you that much. The rogue doesn't fare much better herself, but at least you can pretend you're helping with your arrows.
Got him with my box. You see that, dude?
Yeah, good job, wizard. So helpful.
We were playing with the rule that only one hero can be occupied at a given time, so no duplicates outside of special scenarios, which meant that in combat we pretty much just let the knight handle everything, while the rogue would try to take down some flying enemies. A big part of your skill tree is meant to give you a leg up in combat, like giving the rogue a dodge roll or allowing the wizard to like levitate enemies, but in practice these skills just don't add that much to the experience. It's disappointing as a different version of this could have let each player have unique builds for each character, adding a pretty cool dynamic to the co-op. But in the end, there were maybe one or two skills we felt worth investing in, which was a bummer because we had a ton of XP as you can see here.
Holy shit.
Did it.
Oh man, these guys popping off.
God.
Holy crap.
Let's go!
Oh my god, it's still
going, dude. The animation ended and it's still going. Holy crap. Put some respect on our name, dude.
This game wasn't ready for the Clockwork.
There's a couple silver linings to these criticisms though. For one, regular combat encounters aren't a major part of the game, so as disappointing as they are, at least you'll largely spend your time solving some great puzzles. Additionally, like I said earlier, the boss fights are the exception to the rule here. They actually make you use different characters and add some light puzzle solving to the mix. They were a ton of fun and way better than the regular enemies. Lastly, the skill tree is something that you don't really need to interact with if you don't want to. It isn't something that's actively harming the experience as much as it's just a mixed opportunity. Overall, the scales tip towards the positive with Trine 5, so let's hear our final take on the game.
Oh, he's closer. Oh, he's getting closer. Oh my god, what are we supposed to do? I'm dead. Oh, he's doing it again.
Okay, so yeah, Trine 5, at the end of the day, is more Trine. There's no denying that. I was actually going to do that same trick that I did earlier and put some old Trine footage here that was like from Trine 2, but I think you can obviously tell the series has come a long way visually after all these years. This is Trine 5 in 2023, the gameplay is amped up, and let me take a quick minute to again shout out those visuals because they are amped up too. While the menu and some of these co-op systems are a little suspect at the beginning, we were wowed several times by the backgrounds of these levels. They do a good job of taking that Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze effect, where in some scenarios you're weaving a tale in the background about what's going on in the world and where you're going. Awesome stuff. It really elevates the package. As for the story, it's got some funny writing, but it's pretty much a by-the-books tale. Nobody was asking for this title to take the storytelling to the next level, but it would have been nice. So overall, let's cut to the chase. Who is this for? I'd say if you're into puzzle games, you should be playing Trine 5. If you've liked the past Trine games, you should be playing Trine 5. If you're unsure or if co-op puzzle games haven't clicked for you in the past and you want to give another one a go, I'd actually say Trine 5 is probably a great bet for that. Gabe and I have played plenty of co-op puzzlers in our days, and it's not exactly our favorite version of this subgenre. But I'm leaving this feeling like this may be my favorite co-op puzzler of the last few years. Is it Portal 1 or 2? No. Does it reinvent the wheel of the series? No. But for $30, we're not asking it to. So yeah, Trine 5, surprisingly great co-op game.
Thanks for watching, guys. Our friends at THQ Nordic were kind enough to hand over an extra PS5 key for us to give away here. No, they didn't sponsor the video or anything. Our thoughts are our own as usual, but since we had a good time with the game, we thought one lucky winner should have a shot at playing it for free. Real simple, all you have to do is go on either our Instagram or Twitter, follow us, and comment on our latest Trine 5 posts. We'll pick the winners at random and reach out to you privately on either platform a week from today. Until then, we'll catch you next time on another episode of The Co-op Bros.
Oh, frick. Oh, that was
Oh
close.
my god! Hello?
That's fine. It worked out. It worked out.
It worked out.
Whoa! Okay. Whoa, bro!
Okay! We both had the same moment except I died.
Except for you died. Oh, that's so good.
That's amazing.
Tried.
Tried. Oh yeah, wait.